Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to come on this morning and give you some words of inspiration and encouragement. Hopefully, this helps you throughout today. I want to talk to you about keep getting up. Keep getting up. I don't care who gives up. You just keep getting up. You know why you want to keep getting up? Because you worth it. There's so many things that take place in life that can discourage you. But I want you to just keep getting up, because here's the thing. Over the years, you've already faced some things that you thought was going to take you out, but you kept getting up. You kept moving forward. You kept letting your presence be known. You kept walking into those rooms where people felt like you didn't belong. You kept facing circumstances that people meant to take you out, and God gave you strength to keep going. All I'm telling you this morning is to keep going. Remind yourself, nothing, nobody, and no situation is bigger than God. You have to keep going. There are some people that continue to need to see your presence every day. You lift the spirits of others, more people than you know, just by your presence, just by you fighting to see another day. I have a short testimony I just want to share with you. God will bring things back to your memory when you feel like, man, I'm at the end of my rope. Years ago, when my husband was dealing with the cancer and we was going through the chemo with him, I was having infusions. I'm walking around with a needle in my arm because I would do the infusion and then they would wrap my arm so they wouldn't have to put it back in there every time I came back to get the next infusion. And I remember going to class because I was in my graduate school, right? And the professor was standing up front, and I had no clue that my professor was going through chemo as well. But see, God knew. And I felt so exhausted. I felt like, man, am I going to finish this course? But you know what? God already knew the plan. He already knew what was going to happen, right? So I told my professor, I said, I'm just tired. And I was telling him what I had going on. And he said, oh, I go to MD Anderson, which is down in Houston. And I was telling him where we went for my husband's chemo. But anyways, he goes, I said, I don't feel like I'm going to finish this course because I got so much on my plate. He said, no. You keep going. You keep going. You got to finish this course. You don't want to have to wait out another semester just to come back and do something that you could have already had done. Take some breaths, sit down, and get back up. I thought about that this morning. You got to keep going. You got to do that. You got to do that for yourself. You got to do that for your husband. You got to do that for your child, your grandchild. You got to do that because they're dependent on you. But more so, I'm dependent on you to finish this course because I know that you can. And he said, and I don't like to see people start things and not finish. By the time the semester was at the end, do you know that this professor ended up calling me before I went to class? He said, I need for you to do something for me, Miss James. And I'm like, yes, sir. He said, I'm in the hospital, but my assistant is going to come to the classroom. If you could get there a little early and have everybody to turn in the research papers, put them in an envelope. She's got an envelope she's going to bring in. You put them in that envelope and give them to her. And I said, okay. See, what I'm saying is when you may be wanting to give up, somebody needs you to keep going because they know that it's something going on in their life that they need some strength from you. They need to see your strength because your life gives them strength. This is all I'm saying. Sometimes people just need some words of encouragement, some words to say, you can do this, some words to say, I know you feel like you show up for everybody. You ever been in that situation where you show up for everybody, but nobody show up for you? I'm being honest. Have you ever been in there? You showing up for everybody, but nobody show up for you? But let me tell you something. Even though you feel like that, God has the final say. He meant for you to be the one to show up. He meant for you to be the one to have the strength. He meant for you to be the one to be victorious in the end. It's just like when people, you feel like everybody's talking to me about me. Everybody got something negative to say about me. You ever felt like that? And it was really happening. It wasn't make-believe. It was really happening. And you thought to yourself, why me? And then God whispers and say, why not you? Why not you? You know why it's you? Because I chose you. You know why I chose you? Because at a time like this in your life, I knew I could trust you with it. I knew I could trust you with it. Whatever you're going through, God say, keep going. You're going to be greater on the other side. I see you. And I know that people not showing up for you. And I know that you've given everything that you could give to everybody else. I know you have loved people that didn't love you. I know that. I know all about it. But I'm right here with you. You are not alone. Look in my direction. Look towards the heavens, which come your help. That's where your help come from. Because God is a good God. He'll never leave you. He'll never forget you. And he knows all those people who said those bad things about you, and they knew that they weren't true. But let me tell you something this morning. Something God laid on my heart to share with you. Don't you know? Listen to me closely. Don't you know that when people talk about you, not only are they talking about a good subject, you a good subject, but the only reason why they're talking about you, the only reason why they're putting you down, the only reason why they're sharing falsehoods and think they know your life and they know your outcome on your situations, because they don't want to face their own. People who always got something to say about somebody else's life, always trying to downgrade somebody else, always trying to bring out the worst about somebody else. The only reason why they talking about you is because they don't want to look at their own lives. Because if they have to look at their own lives, guess what? They know they would be some sad individuals. They are lost in their own world. That's why they keep diving into your world, because your world make them feel better, because it gives something, it gives them somebody to look down on. It gives them somebody to talk about. It gives them somebody to criticize. It gives them somebody to put in a category that they really are in themselves. But they put that on the people that they talk about, and they drag your name. And God say, don't worry about it. They only doing that because they don't want to really sit down and look at their own lives. Don't worry about who's out here minimizing you. Don't worry about them because they're small. You keep going. Keep going. Do it for yourself. Do it for those who really love you. Stop putting so much energy in people that don't love you. Stop putting so much energy in the things that people have to say about you. Stop putting so much energy in the people that walked away from you and turned their back on you. Stop putting so much energy in that and pour that energy, that same energy you're giving away, pour it into yourself. You don't have to walk around with your head down. You don't. You don't have to walk around like you're nothing. You really don't. Keep your head up. Keep going. Because when you get to the other side of your situation, greatness is waiting over there for you. But if you stop now, you will never get to it. Remember that. Greatness on the other side of your situation is waiting on you. And all those haters that's fighting against you, they just holding you back. They just holding you back because they know you about to cross over into your greatness. Okay? If you don't do nothing else today, say to yourself, every chance you get, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I don't care what they say. I'm going to keep going. I don't care how much I might have to keep going with tears in my eyes. I might have to keep going with a broken heart. I might have to keep going with a confused mind. I might have to keep going with pain in my body. I might have to keep going feeling lost. I might have to keep going, being lonely. I just got to keep going. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Because just like that professor back then, God placed me in that classroom at a time when he told me to keep going. And then he ended up needing me because he was in the hospital. He didn't need me. I'm going to say like this. God used me to be in a space to do something for one of his children at a time when he needed somebody to step in the gap. And I wanted to give up. And this same professor said, you can't do that. Keep going. And a month after I lost my husband, he passed away. This is why I'm telling you, keep going. You don't know who's fighting with you. You don't know who. There are people fighting against you. But you remember this. Just because they talking don't mean what they say is true. They are just working overtime to keep from looking at their situation. So when they talking about a good subject. Okay? Y'all have a good day. You are some beautiful people. You're lovely. And God is wanting to do so much more for you. And he will do it. You just can't give up. You got to keep going. Because whether you see it or not, you are rising to the top. Okay? Keep going. Y'all have a wonderful day and be blessed. Okay? Bye-bye.